Halo Reach was by far my favorite childhood game. I remember seeing Forge World for the very first time in the trailers, and as a big fan of custom games in Halo 3, I knew that this was the true next generation for Halo. I could still vividly remember the day that I went to purchase it on launch. With the bag secured, I immediately booted it up on the trusty old Xbox 360 and absolutely steamrolled the hell out of that campaign. To this day, it still remains my favorite Halo game of all time. Quick disclaimer, this will contain spoilers for Halo Reach, and I'm mainly going to be talking about the Master Chief Collection variant of the game, as that's the most accessible version. With that out of the way, let's get into this video. Halo Reach takes place even before the events of Combat Evolved. In this game, you don't play as Master Chief, rather, you're just a nameless Spartan given the title Noble Six. The game starts off by introducing you to the planet Reach, where most of your missions will be taking place. During a quick cutscene, you're introduced to the rest of Noble Team.
Lieutenant.
Commander, sir.
I'm Carter, Noble Team's leader. That's Kat, Noble 2, Emil and George 4 and 5. You're riding with me, Noble 6.
These 5 are going to be your very good buddies for the rest of the game, so make sure you get to know them really well. The first mission immediately establishes the setting for the rest of the game as you quickly become familiar with the harsh reality of Reach. It's a bleak, war-torn wasteland, seemingly a shell of what it once was. It immediately grabs your attention and makes you wonder how the planet could have possibly reached such a devastating outcome. As the mission progresses further, the atmosphere slowly starts to get a little bit darker. Within the first minutes of arriving on Reach, you come across a couple of farmers who have a lot to say.
Neighbors were attacked last night. He heard screams, gunfire, stopped around sunrise. Says something in the fields killed his son.
Something.
Commander, be advised, I'm reading heat signatures in that structure directly east of your position. Over.
With each passing second, a sense of doom starts to build up, and eventually as the music escalates, you stumble across a couple of Marines, with one being pinned up to a wall like a painting, and the other sitting dead on the floor.
Looks like they were interrogated. It's messy.
Soon after, your motion tracker picks up a signal and you finally understand that you're no longer alone. The Covenant are here to fight, and you're the first line of defense against an incoming invasion. This is why you're here. And as the campaign continues to progress further, you start to realize just how futile your fight against a seemingly unstoppable force truly is. One by one, Noble Team falls apart as each member meets their fate. George sacrifices his life to manually detonate a bomb on a Covenant supercarrier shortly after throwing you into space and saving your life in the process. Kat takes a needle gun to the head, which is really sad but also very hilarious, seeing as the other members die so valiantly. Carter rams a Pelican into a Scarab, sacrificing his life to save yours and Emil's. Emil takes an energy sword to the chest while providing air support for an escaping Pelican, and finally, Noble Six takes one last stand as he fights through hordes of Covenant invaders. But at the end of the day, all of their sacrifices were for literally nothing. George didn't save Reach like he thought he would, and Carter managed to save Emil and Noble Six, only for them to die heroic yet pointless deaths in the end. And Kat just straight up died after accomplishing nothing of value. This is what really sets the game apart from other Halo titles. It's completely hopeless and completely bleak. It showcases a whole new side of Halo that we never saw before with the original trilogy. We're not Master Chief, the Bane of the Covenant, we're simply just Noble Team, a disposable unit of prototype Spartans made for the sole purpose of fighting and dying for the UNSC. After every death came a new and improved Spartan to take our place. But at the same time, the game evolves these prototype Spartans so well and makes them grow on you as you continue to fight alongside them and learn about who they really are. It feels like you're truly a part of this team, and through thick and thin, you'll stand together as a bastion against the Covenant. It's the first and only time a Halo game has truly made me care about the characters besides Master Chief and Cortana. In every other game, we've just been an unstoppable Covenant killing machine. We're the one and only Master Chief, and it's simply just impossible for us to lose. We were handcrafted to destroy the Covenant and end the war. Everybody else is just another blank face in the crowd compared to us. So when you go from that to Halo Reach, it really just makes the story, characters, and fights feel so much more impactful. There's so many amazing and varied missions to choose from. At one point you'll be playing a stealth mission with June, quietly assassinating elites and sneaking past hordes of sleeping grunts. And then, before you know it, you'll be piloting a literal spaceship as you take the fight straight to the Covenant in space. If you can't tell, I really love the campaign of Halo Reach. But thankfully, the campaign isn't the only thing that it does well, because in my opinion it still has the best multiplayer of any Halo game even to this day. For starters, there are over a dozen unique game modes to play in PvP, ranging from the classic Slayer game mode where you fight in a free-for-all against your fellow Spartans, to Infection where you fight to survive as long as possible against a horde of infected that slowly gets larger as more Spartans succumb to the virus. There's so much variety to the game modes that it would be nearly impossible to get bored, as you can simply just move on to one of the many other modes the game has to offer. In the current landscape of AAA titles that launch incomplete or cut content to be later sold as DLC, Halo Reach feels like a safe haven. And although there was DLC in the Xbox 360 release of the game, I believe that it's now included in the Master Chief Collection. Aside from PvP game modes, Halo Reach has one of the most in-depth and customizable firefight experiences of any Halo game if you're looking for more PvE-focused content besides the campaign. You get to choose from 10 different maps, 7 different game modes, and of course the 4 classic Halo difficulties being Easy, Normal, Heroic, and Legendary. You can also create your own custom settings such as Spartan loadouts, Elite loadouts, skull settings, time limit, wave limit, and a whole lot more. If you take the time to tweak it, you can really make it a perfect experience exactly catered to your taste. Not to mention the PvE and PvP sandbox is simply amazing. There's well over a dozen unique weapons to play with, ranging from the iconic Halo sniper rifle, Spartan laser, and assault rifle, to the Covenant plasma pistol and needler. There's also a handful of grenades to choose from, as well as turrets and power-ups such as armor lock, jetpack, and sprint. PvP in particular feels really amazing in this game. Thanks to the shield system, each weapon has a drastically different time to kill. As a result of this, it's very important that you find what weapons you enjoy best and spend time learning how to use them effectively, because in Halo, skill always wins out to luck. This, combined with all the abilities that we received in Halo Reach, make an absolutely perfect PvP sandbox that can only be beaten by Halo 5 Warzone. And you can say whatever you want about Halo 5, but Warzone was objectively the best PvP sandbox we've ever had in any Halo game. Halo 5 aside, when comparing it to other FPS games in either the other Halo titles, there's just so many unique items to play around with. There's also plenty of great vehicles you can use, like Scorpions, Warthogs, Ghosts, and Falcons. You can use armor abilities such as a jetpack to reach new heights and gain a tactical viewpoint over your enemies, or maybe even just use good old sprint to grab the one Banshee spawn on the map and then get blown up 5 seconds later by your teammate who has a spanker because he was mad that he didn't get to the Banshee first, and if he can't have it, well, nobody can. You can get sniped from across the map by a sniper or skillfully assassinate an enemy Spartan when they least expect it. I know that I'm kind of beating a dead horse at this point, but I had to get the point across that there really is just so much to do with the PvP sandbox in Halo Reach. And of course, we got plenty of new iconic Halo PvP maps with Reach, such as Boneyard, Countdown, and Spire. And finally, we have custom games, the absolute bread and butter of Halo Reach. You have all-time classics like Fat Kid, Mongoose Races, and Speed Halo. Halo Reach just has so many tools available for you to utilize in your builds, and Forge World continues to be the best Forge map we've gotten in Halo history. It's been home to so many amazing custom games, and with the addition of mod support for Halo MCC, the games in 2023 are even more insane than what we saw on the Xbox 360. Just like with Firefight, you're able to customize and create your own game modes from scratch to make your experience as simple or as complex as you like. Between 360, Xbox One, and PC MCC, I've easily spent hundreds of hours in custom games, and it's by far my favorite way to play the game. And of course, I saved the absolute best aspect of Reach for last, that being none other than the customization. Unfortunately, the customization progression system was dramatically changed in MCC compared to the way that it was originally on the 360, but it still features the best Halo customization by a landslide. In Reach, you get to choose a helmet, a visor, a left and right shoulder, a chest, a wrist piece, a utility piece, knee guards, and an armor effect. It's home to some of the most iconic pieces of gear we've ever seen, such as Emil's custom EVA helmet, the Commando and Security shoulder pieces, the Haunted helmet, and several chest pieces featuring Kat's robotic arm. On top of this, you get to choose 2 different colors and can also opt to play as an elite, which sadly doesn't offer as much customization as it's just pre-made armor sets. But still, it's by far the most customizable experience as it features roughly 100 unique pieces of gear with hundreds of millions of unique combinations possible. And with all that being said, this is why Halo Reach is not only a masterpiece, but also the greatest Halo game ever made, in my opinion. There's so many unique game modes to enjoy, armors to unlock, and literally just stuff to do that you would actually have to try to force yourself to be bored. Even in 2023, it's still one of the most active Halo games, with hundreds of people playing custom games in PvP every single day. I unironically think this is a perfect game that checks every single box. The graphics are amazing, especially by 2010 standards, and in typical Halo fashion, we receive some of the most incredible soundtrack music in the industry. I'm not a hater for 343's Halo titles at all, but nothing they've made yet has even come close to Reach in terms of quality or quantity. 13 years ago, it was an epic send-off for Bungie, and even 13 years later, it still serves as a reminder of what we lost. But as long as Reach continues to survive, so will Halo. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.
It didn't take long for Reach to fall. Our enemy was ruthless, efficient, but they weren't nearly fast enough. For you had already passed the torch, and because of you, we found Halo, unlocked its secrets, shattered our enemy's resolve. Our victory, your victory, was so close. I wish you could have lived to see it. But you belong to Reach. Your body, your armor, all burned and turned to glass. Everything. Except your courage. That you gave to us. And with it, we can rebuild.